In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets for Wednesday, January 15th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our January 15th NBA bet slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 8.88 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience, all right? And if you guys missed out this weekend, we had a great finale here on Monday night with the Rams +3 here. I gave this at the beginning. If you sign up for the Patreon, I gave this out at the beginning of the wild card weekend. So Saturday, before the game started, this was the weekend parlay. I left out one game on purpose, but we had the Texans, gave them a little juice there. Just something simple, all right? Because we put $100 on this right here. 100 to get 467. I want to get somewhere close to 5. Boom, 100 to 467. That was Texans +7.5. Ravens, Bills, Eagles, all on the money line, and we had to come down to the LA Rams +3.5 against the very, very public Vikings here, and that came through as well. So that cashed over the weekend if you signed up for the Patreon. If you want more winning plays, if you want to get ready for this wild card, this divisional round now, sign up in the description down below. Get connected. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. Before we deep dive into this game here, Knicks and 76ers. Also in that Patreon, we predicted the college football championship game. If you signed up, I posted it way before this championship, way before the bowl game started, about early December, I think December 2nd. We had the exact championship. So you're missing out. I'm telling you about these futures, man. These futures are on point. We got the Dodgers. We got the college football championship here. If you want to find out the Super Bowl, who's going to be in the Super Bowl, you go to that Patreon link right now and find out who's going to be in it. All right. If you can't find the article, DM me. I'll show you where it is. I'll repost it again. This is from months ago. You gotta go down and scroll and find it. It is in there. We have Notre Dame. We have Ohio State. I had 3 teams really, but it was really just between that one game between Ohio and Oregon. Whoever won that game was going to go to the championship. The bracket leads up. So if you want to sign up, remember, link down below. Let's get into this game right here. Starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers at Wells Fargo Center. This is the second game of a back-to-back. They just faced the OKC Thunder. They're 15-23. New York Knicks are 26-15. Coming in this matchup here, looking at the odds, Knicks are road favorites, -250 on the money line with the comeback of the 76ers at a +190. Point spread at 6.5. Total points at 219.5. Looking at full game public bet percentage, 87% of the bets, 95% of the money, all on the Knicks. For the point spread, 76% of the bets, 78% of the money, all over the Knicks to cover that 6.5. And total points, 91% of the bets and money towards the over 219.5. All right. Before we go even deeper here, looking at the injury report. So I'm going to look at this one here and I'm going to show you the other one. Right now, for the injury report for the Knicks, We have no Mitchell Robinson. He's been out all year. And no Kevin Mueller. He's been out all year. That's fine. Game time decisions on Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and Jericho Sims, their backup center. For the 76ers, this team, I don't understand what they're doing. It's like they're throwing away the season. Honestly, I don't know if these are real injuries or they're sitting out. They're alternating. They keep alternating. So Paul George is out, Tyrese Maxey is out, Caleb Martin is out, but now Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid are game time decisions. This team does not make any sense. All right, if we go to another form here, RotoWire, who I usually use, it says, like I'm saying, it's confirming Tyrese Maxey out, Paul George out, Caleb Martin out, Joel Embiid and Drummond are the ones that could come back in this game. All right, so you take that, you understand, hey, this could be a 76ers team that's going to miss all their guard play. Guard and forwards are going to be a bunch of backups here. Now, looking at the previous matchup for these two teams, they played earlier. That was a 12-point win. As you can see here, Knicks won on the money line. Knicks covered, and the under went 212.5 in that game. All right, that was 111.99, as you can see on the bottom right here. That game was a fully healthy Philadelphia team there. Not a Philadelphia team that's been really up and not up and down. It's just been bad basketball the majority of the season here. They lost 4 of their last 5 games. They lost to New Orleans, Orlando, and just lost to OKC. Technically, if they covered that number, because that number went all the way to like 16.5, almost 17. And they covered the number. They covered the 16 points. I don't think that happens in this game. All right. This is the second time they're facing this team, understandably. But this is a Knicks team that's trying to turn things around. After that loss against the Orlando Magic, the loss against OKC, they bounced back against Milwaukee, then faced a very tough team in Detroit and took it all the way down to the wire and lost that game. This is a little bit of a get-right game here against a very poor, inconsistent Philadelphia 76ers team. Give me the Knicks in a clean sweep here. Give me the Knicks to win on the money line. I'll post that one. Give me the Knicks to cover the 6.5. And give me the under on the 219.5. All right. So for this particular spot, the reason why I'm going under, this team without all their starting 5 can't really score. All right. OKC, they had 102. Orlando, they had 99. Washington, they had 109. That's one of their better games, but Washington is literally the worst defense in the league, and you're going up against one of the better defenses in the league, in the Knicks. And then against the Phoenix Suns, they only scored 99 points. So they're really barely getting around the 100-point mark. So give me the Knicks in a complete sweep here. Money line, cover, and under 219. In the Scotiabank Arena here, we have the Toronto Raptors 9-31, going up against the Boston Celtics 28-11. Looking at the odds for this one, Celtics are huge road favorites here. Minus 1,200 on the money line with the comeback of the Raptors at a plus 725. Point spread at 14.5 and the total points at 229.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 93% of the bet, 97% of the money on Boston. For the point spread, 54% of the bets towards Toronto to cover. We have 51% of the money towards Boston to cover this 14.5. It's a very big number here. And then the total points, 82% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the over 229.5. All right. So, with these two here, looking at the injury report, it's a very short injury report. Celtics are fine. Toronto Raptors are going to be without Emmanuel Quickly, who's been out for the majority of the season as well. So he's going to be missing this game. In the previous 2 matchups, as you can see here, 249 points in that game and a 3-point win by Boston. And then in the second game, the under hit that 2. It was the same line with the under 230. That hit right there. 196 points in that game, and that was a blowout win by the Celtics. All right. So as you can see, that game here the first game went over 230, and the Raptors covered the 16. The next game, the blowout game, obviously they did not cover that spread at all, and it went under 231.5. So we have both one cover, one not cover here. Both particular games were without Scotty Barnes. One was with Grady Dick and RJ Barrett. Let me see. Yeah, they were there. But no Scotty Barnes. So Scotty Barnes will finally play the Boston Celtics. This Celtics team has been very up and down. All right. This is not the same dominant performance we saw from the Celtics last season. Barely beating New Orleans by 1 point. Lost to Sacramento. Beat Denver. Lost to OKC. And then beat Houston. All right. I can't even define it at they show up when they want. They kind of show up when they want to, really. Raptors had a very long losing streak. Finally got a big win over Golden State. But you got to remember, this is a team that's finally getting healthy right now at the moment in this current season. With Scotty Barnes back, this was a tough stretch. You're talking about facing Milwaukee, New York, Cleveland, Detroit is much improved, and then Golden State. And at least they got a win over Golden State in that one. I think we're going to get a more competitive effort from this team here in the Toronto Raptors. My best bet for this one here is not even going to be the spread. Give me the over on the 229.5 points. I think that this won't be a blowout. I think it's going to be a competitive game going back and forth. And these two teams will reach over 229.5. So give me the over on 229.5. The 14.5 spread is the one that's a little tough. I'm going to lean towards the Raptors being home and giving them essentially 15 points. All right. So Raptors plus 14.5 and over 229.5 for this one. In Smoothie King Center here in New Orleans, Pelicans 9-32 going up against the Dallas Mavericks 22-18. Current odds for this one here, we have the Mavericks as road favorites minus 145, with the comeback of the Pelicans at a plus 120, point spread at a 2.5, and then total points at 225.5. Public bet percentage here, 67% of the bets, 85% of the money all over the Dallas Mavericks. And for the point spread, 62% of the bets, 67% of the money towards the cover of the Dallas Mavericks against these Pelicans. And then the total points, 89% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 225.5. Looking at the injury report for these two teams, there might be a little bit of positive news for the Mavericks. We're getting more of a game time decision from Kyrie Irving, but now Derek Lively's the game time decision, so he might be out. Dante Exum is out, and Luka Doncic is out. For the Pelicans, no Brandon Ingram and no Herbert Jones. All right, so those two are going to be missing this game here. Earlier in the season, in the NBA Cup, that was Dallas Mavericks blowout win against the Pelicans. The Pelicans was actually decimated with injuries, and that was a fully healthy Dallas Mavericks team. That's why that score was so skewed in that particular game. Mavericks have been struggling as of late. They just lost to the Denver Nuggets here, 118-99, and then lost to them again before that, 112-101. This team has been playing very up and down here without, obviously, their two leaders in Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic here. Pelicans are playing a little bit more better basketball here since Zion Williamson has come back. They've beaten Philadelphia, took Boston all the way down to the wire, and then beat the Chicago Bulls. So very good wins, good performances here from the Pelicans. Could they turn things around? They're going to have to get hot rather quickly, but they definitely have the talent to do so. So this particular spot here, I think the value is on the side of the Pelicans at home as home dogs. We're going against a very hampered Dallas Mavericks team. You got to wait on news about Kyrie Irving if he's going to give it a go. But this is Kyrie that hasn't played in like 2 weeks. But that's fine. He's going to be 100% if he's actually on the court. All right. So values on the side of the Pelicans. Give me the plus 2.5 on the point spread. And my real favorite play is the over 225.5. I think the Pelicans can put up big points here. Dallas Mavericks, they're getting back Kyrie. That's going to be another positive as well. But I like the over 225.5. They set this line literally exactly the same as the last one. It's just the Dallas Mavericks are with injuries instead of the Pelicans. So Zion Williamson coming back. They've been scoring very well as of late. 119, and 123. And I think the Dallas Mavericks can put up some points as well. Against Portland, 117, against LA Lakers, 118. Pelicans are one of the poorer defensive team. So I like this over in the total of 225.5. In United Center here, Chicago Bulls 18-22 going up against the Atlanta Hawks 20-19. Looking at the odds for this one here, we have the Bulls as home favorites -135 with the comeback of the Hawks at a +110. Point spread at 1.5. This one's very tight here with the point spread. Total points at 244.5. Public bet percentage, 71% of the bets towards the Chicago Bulls, but we have 55% of the money here towards Atlanta. For the point spread, 59% of the bets, 51% of the money here towards the Atlanta Hawks here. We've got a public underdog here, and that's a little bit of a scary sight. Total points, 62% of the bets, and 52% of the money towards the over 244.5. Looking at these two teams here in the injury report, we're going to head over to RotoWire here. We have Trae Young now questionable, okay? He's not. He played yesterday because this is the second game of back-to-back for both teams. Trae Young is now questionable. Jalen Johnson is a game-time decision, so we're not sure if they're going to get back their two main guys here. DeAndre Hunter is out. Larry Nance is out. Cody Zeller is out. So they could be with Jalen Johnson. It's a toss-up right now, but it could be that Trae Young might sit this game as well. All right, so you got to wait on news about the Atlanta Hawks. Since this is the second game of back-to-back, they might be sitting guys here and giving some rest. For the Chicago Bulls, we are waiting on news about Kobe White, okay? Torrey Craig is out, and Sinago is out as well. Ayo Dosunmu is a game-time decision. So two game-time decisions in Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. We got to wait on news for those two guys as well. These are very important pieces on both sides of the teams, all right? So these two teams have already played 3 times already. The Bulls lead the series 2-1. Chicago Bulls beat them in Atlanta by 12, then beat them at Chicago by 14, and then Atlanta Hawks got the revenge on December 26th with an 8-point win against the Bulls there. The over has went over 240, or over the line, in 2 out of the 3 games. All right, the under was this first game here because it was more of a blowout, not blowout, but it was a double-digit win. And that's why it wasn't competitive enough to reach that over 240. All right, the 240 total has been in each and every single game. All right, as well. So they have kept this line very consistent here. Both of these teams are coming off games on the previous night as well. Bulls are on a 2-game losing streak, looking to turn things around. Hawks just won 1 and lost 1 against the Phoenix Suns here. And this is the second game of back-to-back. I'm going to be leaning towards the Chicago Bulls, even with you do have to wait on news ultimately. But what I feel like is I think maybe Jalen Johnson does give it a go and they sit Trae Young in this game. And we'll have to wait on news about the Chicago Bulls. All right, so for this game, give me the Chicago Bulls on the money line. We're going to fade the public underdog here. So Bulls on the money line. Bulls to cover the 1.5, and give me the over on 244.5 on the total. All right. Total, this will be a secondary play. I like the Bulls more to get this win here at home against the Atlanta Hawks. All right. So over 244 and Bulls money line. In Pfizer Forum here, Milwaukee Bucks 21-17, going against the Orlando Magic 23-18. Looking at the current odds for this one, Bucks home favorites -225 on the money line with the comeback of the Magic at a +185, point spread at 5.5, and total points at 211.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 92% of the bets, 98% of the money all over Milwaukee. For the point spread, 51% of the bets, 48% of the money here towards Orlando to cover. For the total points, 80% of the bets towards the over, but 69% of the money coming in on over 210.5. All right, injury report here for these two teams. Orlando's getting a little bit healthier here. Paolo Banchero is back. We're waiting on Goga Bitadze. He's a game-time decision. Contavious Caldwell-Pope is a game-time decision, and Jay Howard is trending out. No Gary Harris, no Jalen Suggs, and no Franz Wagner as well. For the Milwaukee Bucks here, game-time decision on Middleton, and Gary Trent is out as well. So Waiting on news about Chris Middleton here. This is the second game of a back-to-back for the Milwaukee Bucks. They just came off a big blowout win against the Sacramento Kings, who are red hot, and they beat them by 15. And now they're coming in here against Orlando Magic, who they really slowed down a little bit here. The points get down. It's a very grind-out type of game when they faced Orlando Magic here, and then Orlando Magic playing a little bit better basketball since with Banchero coming back from his injury. All right, this game here, I see the value on the Magic side. If we're looking at the previous two matchups, that was both of those games going towards the Milwaukee Bucks here, and both of those games were a cover by Orlando and the over hit. All right, cover by Orlando 7.5 and the over hit. Cover by Orlando in this game and the over hit. Now, this one here, they set this line lower than the previous two games, despite the fact the over has went in those two games. So that's a little bit fishy there. I think the value here, and that's why I see the sharps, more of the sharps coming in on that under. I think the play for the total is under 210.5. Like I said, between the Magic and the Bucks, they really play tight basketball. It's not like a running up and down the court here. They slowed down the pace very much so here. Second game of a back-to-back as well for the Bucks. So there could be some tired legs. All right, since you're going up against a high-paced team in the Sacramento Kings, and now you're faced, it's totally opposite here when you're going up against Orlando Magic. So love the plus 5.5 for the Magic here. I even think that they have a chance to get this upset as well, so you can sprinkle the money line. So plus 5.5 on the point spread, and for the total, give me under 210.5. In Frost Bank Center here, we have the San Antonio Spurs 19-19 going against the Memphis Grizzlies 25-15. Looking at the current odds for this game, Grizzlies road favorites minus 140 on the money line with the comeback of the Spurs at a plus 115. Point spread at 2.5. Total at 239.5. Public bet percentage. Looking at that here, 72% of the bets, 59% of the money on the Memphis Grizzlies. For the point spread, 68% of the bets, 76% of the money towards the Memphis Grizzlies to cover. And for the total points, high total here, 239.5, 65% of the bets, 68% of the money towards the over on 239.5. These teams, this will be their first matchup this season, and they got to face each other 4 times coming up for the rest of this season as well. All right, both of these teams here, both of these teams, looking at the injury report, we have no Marcus Smart, no Spencer, and no V. Williams. This is almost finally fully healthy Memphis Grizzlies team. So this is perfect timing here to have John Morant, Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bane back all together, their big core 3. And then this is a team here that's still over 10 games over 500. So very impressive from the Grizzlies here. And then the Spurs, Jeremy Sochan is out and Minix is out as well. So I think this spot here is really telling me a great spot for the Grizzlies and at a great price as well. Looking at some of the, just going by the totals, that 239, I believe that's pretty high. They've went over this total in their last 5 games only once, and the other games have been clearly way under 239, 228, 214, no, 204, 210, excuse me, 214, and then well under, which was like 197 and a 189. All right, so total, I think that's too many points here. Give me the 239.5 under in this game. If we're going with money line, we're going clearly with the Memphis money line and a Memphis cover as well. In Ball Arena here, Denver Nuggets 24-15 going against the Houston Rockets 26-12. Looking at the current odds for this game here, we got the Rockets as road favorites against the Denver Nuggets here. Minus 115 on the money line. Nuggets with the comeback at a minus 105. Point spread at a 1.5. And total points at 230.5. That's why you see with this plus 1.5 on the Nuggets, the juice is towards the Nuggets. So you would think that'd be more of a public bet here. Denver Nuggets as as home dogs. Very shocking to see here. And that's why you see, if you're looking at the public bet line, this is what I've been talking about. That's why that plus 1.5 is juiced. All right. So public bet percentage, 51% of the bets, 73% of the money, all on Denver. All right. I literally, you can just read the line and see where the public's going here. And this is a spot that technically we fade public favorites. I mean, public underdogs all the time. All right. And it usually cashes. Okay. So 51% of the bets, 73% of the money all on Denver. Point spread, 76% of the bets towards Denver, 65% of the money towards Denver to cover that +1.5. And then obviously everyone's all over the total, over 230, 83% of the bets, 75% of the money. This is a very funny line. All right. I'll tell you why. Now, starting lineups here, looking at the injuries. Houston, no Jack Landale. Tyree Eason is game time decision. Jamari Smith is still out for the Houston Rockets. Denver Nuggets, cancer has been out for a while, and it's looking like Murray and Jokic will play in this game. All right. So, coming down to this, these two teams are rather healthy here. Both of these teams are red hot right now, winning their last 4 games as well. But there's a little bit of a difference, okay? Last 4 games for Denver Nuggets, they've been beating on lesser talent, all right? They beat the Dallas Mavericks twice that had no Kyrie and no Luka Doncic, and they beat one of the worst teams in the league as well in the Brooklyn Nets. The only solid one was the Clippers, and then the actual opponent, they got their butts kicked by Boston, all right? For the Houston Rockets, they've been putting up with some tough competition here. Beat Memphis twice. They did face Washington and beat them. They blew them out. And then they beat the LA Lakers. So solid wins here for the Rockets. A little bit questionable for the Denver Nuggets. This is the second game of a back-to-back for the Denver Nuggets here. And they set the line in favor of the Rockets on the road. And that's on purpose, all right? So give me the Rockets on the money line. The total could be even better, all right? If you're scared to pick a side, I love the under in this game. Yes, I said under. The last 5 matchups between these two teams here have gone under that total 4 out of the last 5 games, okay? 4 out of the last 5 games have gone under the total of 230.5 points. These are two very defensive-minded teams, all right? Ime Udoka with the Rockets, and to the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone doesn't play that game. They play very good defense, and with Russell Westbrook thrown in there at that starting 5, this is a formidable starting 5 defensively as well, all right? For the total purposes, 227, 211, 190, 191, and then one over was 258, and then the under again at 220. All right, so the under has clearly hit in 4 out of the last 5 games. Love the under 230.5, and I'm going to go with the Rockets on the money line. In Delta Center here, we have the Utah Jazz 10-28, Charlotte Hornets 8-28 here. Looking at the current odds for this game, Hornets -210 on the money line with a comeback of the Jazz at a +170. Point spread at 5.5. And total points at 221.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 67% of the bet, 69% of the money towards the Charlotte Hornets. For the point spread, 65% of the bets, 57% of the money on Utah to cover. Shockingly there. And then total points, 89% of the bets, 73% of the money towards the over 221.5. All right, injury report here, and that's going to be very important in this game. Trey Mann is the only one out for the Charlotte Hornets. You have a very healthy Hornets team here. Finally, Utah Jazz dealing with a ton of injuries. Keontae George, game time decision. Now we get to the main guys here. Jordan Clarkson out. John Collins out. Johnny Juzang out. Lauri Markkanen out. And Colin Sexton out. So this team is literally down to all backups here for the Utah Jazz. This is a very ugly sight to see, and this is what leans me here for the Charlotte Hornets. All right, we got a healthy Charlotte Hornets team for the first time in a very long time here. We got Bridges, Ball, and Miller all together. This is a very formidable team when you're going up against at least decent competition here. And I'm going to be leaning towards the side of the Charlotte Hornets on the money line. All right, give me the Hornets on the money line. Give me the Hornets to cover for the total. All right, let me see the last couple games. They haven't been putting up 111. This 221, I believe they can reach it just because how poor the Charlotte Hornets defense can be, or both sides. Both defenses are very bad, period. But I like this total to go over, even with the majority of these backups in this game. All right. If we're going back to the last 5 games, 4 of the last 5 games have gone over this total of 221.5 as well. All right. So I think there's going to be a ton of points, mainly on the side of the Charlotte Hornets, because their offense is very efficient, especially with LaMelo Ball. And then I think Jazz will be in this game for the majority point, and then the Hornets will pull away at the end, get the win, cover the line, and go over 221.5. Last but not least here, in Target Center here, the Minnesota Timberwolves 21-18 going up against the Golden State Warriors 19-20. Looking at the current odds for this game, we have the Timberwolves as home favorites, -250, with the comeback of the Warriors at a +195. Point spread at 6.5, which is a little bit of a shocker here. Total points 215.5. Public bet percentage, 82% of the bets towards Minnesota, but we have 82% of the money here. Sharps all over the Golden State Warriors here on the money line. For the point spread, it's still leaning towards Minnesota, 52% of the bets towards Minnesota to cover. And we have 51% of the money towards Golden State to cover here. So split down the middle. It's kind of leaning towards a public underdog. Percentage of bets is too drastic. But looking at the total points here, 91% of the bets, 87% of the money towards the over 215.5. All right, injury report for these two teams. We are, for the Golden State Warriors, have the majority of the outs here. But Curry, Schroeder, Wiggins, all fine. We're waiting on news about Draymond Green. Jackson Davis is trending towards playing. Gary Payton, the second, is trending towards playing. Kyle Anderson, game time decision. Draymond, game time decision. Kuminga and Pods are going to be out of this game. All right. Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been playing better basketball, they're pretty healthy. Shannon, their backup forward, is going to be out of this game here as well. All right. So Golden State Warriors, Timberwolves, they've already played 3 times this year, and 2 out of the 3 have gone to the Golden State Warriors. The only win was the first one in December 6th, and that was a 17-point win by Minnesota in that game here. I think that the 6.5 is a little bit disrespectful on the points here at the point spread. I understand how bad the Golden State Warriors have been playing. All right, it's total opposites. 4 of their last 5 games, Golden State Warriors have lost. 4 of their last 5 games, the Timberwolves have won. All right, so good performances there. 5 the Timberwolves, definitely. Warriors have been sitting players. They've been injured. They kind of got almost all their guys back. The only one that's not back really is Kuminga, but they just been rotating the guys in and out here because they have these injuries. But we do have a almost fully healthy Golden State Warriors team here, and I'm gonna go with this +6.5. I think that's too many points here for a team, and the Warriors have dominated this matchup between the Timberwolves for the past couple seasons here. And I think that's just too many points here when I'm trusting Steph Curry, and we got majority of the starting lineup here. It would be great to see Draymond Green give it a go as well. So if you want to wait on news about Draymond Green, definitely do so. But give me the +6.5 here for the total points. I think there's going to be more of a defensive effort. The under kind of trends in these 2 games here between these 2 teams. So give me the under 215.5 as our play. Secondary play, but the main play will be Golden State Warriors +6.5. All right. If you want the breakdown or the plays of the Heat, Lakers, and Nets, Clippers, it's going to be in Patreon, and I'm going to post it down below. I'll give you one play on each down below as well. If you want my total plays for this slate, for future slates, for period, if you want to sign up and get connected to the community that we're building on Patreon, you click on that link. Remember, you're getting access to daily bets, future bets that we've been absolutely destroying. All right, the future bets have been phenomenal, even the NBA Cup. All right, we almost took it all the way there. We got you into the championship game there. All right, been smoking the futures. And also, you're getting access to the group chat that goes off 24/7. It's super, super valuable. You click on that link, get signed up. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy, Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.